Why? Because you might get hurt. And what did they do? They jumped in the couch and in the bed. And what happened to them? They got hurt. Now what's the first words that I want to say to them? I told you, don't do that. Of course, my wife says, oh no, you need to take care of them. I told them not to do that. Because, that was not good for them. Listen to those in authority over. Listen to your parents. They've been there. They know what's good for you. You're going to be coming to that point in your life where parents are going to say, you have a curfew of whatever time. You should be home by that time. I have a dad who, and I'm finding I'm talking like my dad more and more to my kids. He says, he would say, you need to be home by midnight, which meant for him like 9 o'clock, but whatever. And he would say to me, he says, you do know that nothing good happens in the dark. Of course, when I'm 16, 17, I'm going, that's dope. That's when I have fun, Dad. Nothing good happens in the dark. That's what happens. And so, remembering my dad saying that to my kids, who will probably say it to their kids because I'm turning into my dad, and some of those statements. But that was what he learned. And I'm sure he heard that from his dad, who heard it from his dad, going back there a couple generations in that as well. All right, 5th commandment, page 85. What is the 5th commandment?
You shall not murder.
All right, kind of have an echo. What is the 5th commandment?
You shall not murder.
What does this mean?
You should fear and love God so that we do not hurt or harm our neighbor in his body, and support him in every physical need.
All right, I want you to write equal signs or whatever, God's gift of life. In the 5th commandment, God's gift of life. God created us to care about other people and to help them in their times of need. Take 2 minutes and answer the question and read Luke 10. What are the needs of people in my immediate community and society? And then how did the Good Samaritan help the man who was left half dead? So take 3 minutes to do that. Picture said something that ended in you were. So the story of the parable of the Good Samaritan, there's this man that's left half dead, and the Levite and the priest walk by on the other side, but the Samaritan comes and helps this person. Why did he help him? What could be the possible reason he helped him? Nolan, did you say something? Oh. Why would he do that? And what is Jesus teaching us in this story? Well, keep that in mind. Question number 59. Who is your neighbor? Everybody. You could write down next to it, who is my neighbor? Everybody. Everybody who has ever been born, who's living. Whether that person's living next door to me or halfway around the world, that is my neighbor. And what does God call me to do? Well, as it says here, He calls me not to hurt or harm my neighbor in his body. So I don't physically, emotionally, spiritually hurt my neighbor. And that means everybody. Obviously, the first one is murder is taking someone's life without just cause. I mean, that's first, and you got TV, Dateline, that's all they have, showing murders and things like that. That happens. God says, do not murder. And that means literally taking someone else's life. It's not kill, but sometimes that happens. There's provisions for that God allows. But we have that. Now, the other thing on top of page 86, we have this doing or saying anything that injures or endangers another person's life. So not only do not take their life physically, but maybe there are things that my neighbor needs that I can help, like the parable of the Good Samaritan. This man needed help, so the Good Samaritan took care of him. Cleaned up his wounds, bound him up, took him to a place so that he can be taken care of. That he calls us to do that as well. Now, I just want you to note, what would happen, let's just say here, let's pick, pick Mason. Someone's after Mason. They want to get rid of Mason. And he comes down here, and we know that person's coming to get Mason, and we have Mason run out the door. You're going to run high. Someone comes and says, do you know where Mason is? I'll go, nope, I do not. Are you telling me the truth? I'm actually telling you the truth. I have no idea where he is. But what if I knew you were hiding in the closet over there? Is it all right for me to lie if someone wants after your life? Yeah, because I'm protecting your life. And that. So that God says He allows that. He allows that because we are protecting someone else's life. And we do that. Now the other thing is, if he's coming in and there might be one of us that needs to protect Mason by taking that other person's life because he's out to whoever, kill Mason, wanting to get rid of Mason, no matter what it is. There are times in that we as God's people, we can do that. God says you can protect another person's life as you stand up. Now, who does that like for a living in our society these days? Police. Who else? Military. I mean, that there are times and places where God allows those people, their vocation, their calling, that's what they do. That's what they do for a living. They protect society. They protect their neighbors in the community. And there are times and places when that happens. And God allows that. He allows that. Now, this thing that happened in Minneapolis, that's a different story. But, if someone is to come in here, I'm sure a police officer would, do what they ever have to do to defend us, to make sure that we would be safe. And so God allows that to happen there. And you can see in those Bible passages with that. Now, letter C, by neglecting to assist people in bodily need. One of the things that we do here on Tuesday morning is the food bank. We kind of honor the fifth commandment here. We provide food for people who need it. Now, there are times during the week that people will call and they will ask for assistance. And we will give them assistance. We will give them food. We tell them, we have food. You don't have to pay your money on rent. If you're going to spend money on food, you can take that money and spend it on your rent. So we provide that. And the Lord has blessed us immensely here with this wonderful ministry that we have. Letter D, harboring anger or hatred in our hearts against our neighbor. That's the hard one. It's in here. And angry, not letting it go. Hatred, Jesus said in the Sermon on the Mount, I tell you that you say an eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth, but I tell you, if you have anger or hatred in your heart, you've already broken the fifth commandment. So we have to be very careful with that as well. And anger, hatred, meaning, I'm not going to forgive you, kind of anger and hatred. Now remember, Jesus always forgives you, always forgives me, and he helps us in forgiving others as well. So that we have to let that go. We have to let that go. And you can see that in the Bible passages there, where we have that in the Catechism. We also fear and love God by looking after the physical well-being of our neighbor. Why do we do this? Well, we come to the aid of our neighbor. We see that in the parable of the prodigal son. Oh, someone's in need. We need to help them. We should do that. We have the other examples there. Speaking in a way that helps and defends our neighbor. There are times when we need to stand up and help our neighbor and defend him. We're going to get that in the Eighth Commandment a little bit more. But there are times and places where we need to stand up and do that. And making that happen. And then treating others with kindness and compassion. Sometimes people are weird. Does anybody know any weird people in their lives? And they kind of do weird things. That's where kindness and compassion comes in. We might not understand why they do what they do, but we still have to love and take care of them and things like that as well. And deal with that. Now, just the parents, I'm sure you have parents that come to a point in their life where you're going, Dad, you can't do that anymore. Or Mom, I'll just an example of my mom. She had cancer, lung cancer. They got it up. She's great. 3 days after the surgery, she decides that she wants to do the laundry, which is great. I'm there to help with laundry. I put the laundry in the washing machine. Not the dishwasher, the washing machine. I know what I'm doing. And then, next thing I know, what is she doing? She's pulling the laundry out of the washing machine and putting it in the dryer. And what am I doing? What are you doing? I got to do this. I said, I'm here this week to do this. You get to do that next week when I'm not here. Oh. I said, what do you think I learned that from? Me? Because I heard you do that with Grandma. Grandma did the same thing. I'm going, I'm going to tell my kids, shoot me on that stubborn, just because, that we have to help them with that. And we love and do that for them as well. All right, we're going to stop here for now. So, Mason, mark down question 88 for next week. Or, sorry, question number 61. Hey, Gene. Mason, you better tell me when you don't show up on a certain Sunday, so.
Blank paper. Ah, you grabbed them. Where? Where are they at? Oh, there.
So you're not going, morning guys. So nobody's burned the church down yet. Let's not happen. It won't.
Thanks again for bringing that stuff.
Oh, you're very welcome.
So thank
Great, how's she doing?
you. You're doing pretty good. Have you seen them? They do a report.
Well, I saw what they did. I heard what they did. I mean, mine was just a little screwy. That sounded like, yes. And then, are they going in to take them out?
Yes. Okay, so you went to
I know.
and just grabbed a pile of
Yes.
drywall screw.
My screw, I think my screw is like that long one. It's
Yeah.
still in there. The guy said, we're just gonna let
Okay.
it go. He says, every other bone in your foot's gonna break.
Yeah.
I said, well, this one broke in the first place.
Right.
So is she gonna go back to school
Yes.
this semester?
Yes, she gets the cast off on Halloween.
Okay,
And then we're going up on the 1st to move all of her stuff from her third floor down
down
to
to the
wherever,
first.
yeah, we're
Yes.
putting her.
Right.
So,
I heard that Nathan told me they're moving her to the first floor.
Yeah.
Well, good, because
yeah,
I
so,
can barely get up the stairs normally.
I know, I'm so worried about her. So they're very, like,
Oh,
as
yes.
soon as I had like 80,
Right.
her disability thing,
Yeah.
okay, you're getting moved,
Yeah.
move all your classrooms to the first floor,
Yes.
whatever. I'm like, wow,
Yes.
okay.
So that's good.
awesome.
Now, she might want one of those screw.
We have one, the Brent
That-
Wheelers
those
have one, yeah, she
those
got
are-
one. Mhm.
Oh, heaven sent. I
Yeah,
mean, that
we're
was.
definitely gonna send her up with that, and
Right,
hopefully that'll get her squared away, and
yes.
go from there. So yeah, so the first she goes back after. she
Good.
gets care. But thank you so much,
You're welcome.
really appreciate that.